Hey bitch, welcome back to another episode of Alleged Tea, hosted by your girl Taylor-Nicole Limas, otherwise known as Lady Aguilera 2.0 on TikTok. Oh my goodness, happy week 6. For those of you that don't know, I've been doing this challenge called the 30-60-90 that I made up myself, and I'm officially halfway through. Oh my goodness. Honestly, 45 days went by incredibly fast. And so this episode, we're going to talk about what is a 30-60-90? How did I lose so much weight so fast? Oh my goodness. How did I make myself look so different in 45 days? Because I posted a TikTok video where I stitched one of my old videos from 40 days ago, and you could see a clear difference in my face. So this episode, we're going to talk about 30-60-90, what it is. Oh, what's up? Got your man in the club. Goddamn. Okay, sorry. What this episode is not going to be about, I'm not going to give you an answer of like, this is what I ate in a day. This is how much I eat. These are how many calories I eat. And I know that there's going to be people that stitch this video and be like, okay, the point was she was in a calorie deficit and she worked out 2 times a day and that's how she looks so different, okay? And she didn't drink for 45 days. That wasn't the point of the challenge. Hello. The point of the challenge was to change my life in 3 months. That's what I said. That's what I set out to do. I said, I want to change my life in 3 months. I want to be a completely different person by the end of 3 months. That is the point of the challenge. The weight loss was an additive to it. That was something as a result of me making different changes. Do you get what I'm saying? So what is a 30-60-90? Let's talk about it. The 30-60-90 is something that I made up after I made up a dating rule called the 30-60-90, okay? The dating rule that I made up is that before 90 days, the person that you're talking to is in a trial period. After 90 days, you guys should be talking about like where things are headed, the what are we conversation, okay? Made that up, thought it was funny, haha, cute, whatever. I then took that term and I was like, okay, honestly, that's a great marker for goals. Like every 30 days for 3 months, you should have goals that you hit, right? That push you towards this overall goal at the end of 3 months. Does that make sense? So like, in my head, I'm like, oh, 30, 60, and 90 are kind of like stepping stones to get to the 3-month goal. Does that make sense? So I'm like, that would be perfect if I want to change my life in 3 months. Now, what sparked this entire thing is I saw a video of this guy saying, if you hunker down, no social media, you don't go out, you only focus on one goal, one big goal for 3 months straight, you can accomplish what you would have accomplished in 6 months to a year if you just focus for 3 months, okay? This motivated the fuck out of me. I'm like, 3 months? 3 months is not long at all. I could definitely do that. So I decided I'm gonna fucking do that. I'm gonna change my life in 3 months. And so that's what the 30-60-90 is. Now, we're gonna go into thorough detail on what I did, the changes that I made. But if you came to this podcast episode thinking that we were going to solely talk about weight loss and what I ate and what I do and my magical workout that I did, you came to the wrong place, unfortunately. Okay? Because that's not what we're going to be talking about. I'll tell you some things that I did, but this isn't about weight loss. It really isn't. Okay? What did I do? Okay, so we talked about the 30-60-90. We broke them down into 30-day goals. What is it? What did you do? I took the 30-60-90, which is a 3-month, I'm going to change my life, and I paired it with the book called The Artist's Way. Remember, the goal is change my life, lead myself on a different path. By the end of 3 months, I want to look back at myself and be like, that's a completely different person. That's the goal, right? So this is The Artist's Way. Okay. And The Artist's Way is a book about a spiritual path to higher creativity. Okay. That's what the book's about. It's a 12-week program. Wouldn't you know it? And I've had this book for months and months and months and months sitting on my nightstand and I never read it. Okay. When I started this 30-60-90, I was like, I want to like do something else with it. And then I saw this book and I was like, oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it? This is also a 3-month program. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll just pair them together. Now, mind you, I just made this shit up. I was just doing this as I'm going. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just trying to change my life over here. The fact that it happened to be 3 months, I'm like, that's perfect. Now, I know what you're thinking. Taylor, it's called The Artist's Way. I'm not an artist. Why the fuck would I read The Artist's Way? You don't have to be an artist to read this book. Let me make that very clear. You do not have to be an artist or creative to read this book. She says in the very beginning of the book is meant to lead you on a spiritual path to creativity, okay? And that you can be a lawyer, you can be an accountant, you can be a finance bro. It doesn't matter who you are. The point of the book is to lead you down a path of spiritual creativity. You're probably thinking, Taylor, I'm not interested in reading that book. Tell me how you lost the weight. I just want to do the 30-60-90. Fuck the book. And I'm going to tell you right now, this book changed my life and was a huge, huge, huge factor in the 30, 60, 90. And I strongly recommend reading the book if you're going to do the 30, 60, 90. If you are not going to read the book, you absolutely have zero time in your day. Mind you, each chapter is like 10 pages, maybe. If you're not going to read the book, the one thing that you have to do, that you absolutely have to do if you're going to do the 30, 60, 90, is you have to do the morning pages. And that's from this book. The morning pages are every morning. And I try to get them done before 12 because I got a bunch of shit going on in the morning. So as long as I do them before 12, I consider them done. Every morning, you take a journal, you longhand write 3 pages of stream of consciousness. I know what you're thinking, Taylor, journaling? I want to lose weight. I want to be skinty. I want to look cute and gorgeous. Why the fuck am I journaling every morning? Let me tell you, the morning pages changed my life. When I've never been so shocked in my life, and I tell everybody about them. And if you look up Julia Cameron, the artist of this book, I mean, the writer of this book, she says, and even I think it's in the beginning of this book too, she says that people come up to her all the time from all walks of life and say, your book changed my life. Your morning pages changed my life. I still do them to this day. And that's something that I don't think that I'm ever going to stop doing after reading this book. What are they? Taylor, shut the fuck up. Tell us what the morning pages are. Okay, so you take a notebook, 3 pages, longhand, pen and paper. You cannot type these. It has to be in a notebook. It could be in a journal. It doesn't matter, but you have to write it down. Okay, that's the point. Stream of consciousness. What does that mean, Taylor? What do you mean stream of consciousness? Okay, you write down in a book. Oh my gosh, I don't want to be doing this right now. I hate this. I have so much shit I got to do today. I got to do laundry. I got to wash my bedding. I want to clean my room. Just write. Whatever comes to your mind. Doesn't matter. Fuck this. The economy's trash. Whatever you want to write. It doesn't matter. It's for you and you only. 3 pages every morning. When you're done, don't reread them. Do not reread them. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Do not reread them. As a writer myself, it was very difficult to not reread my own writing. Okay, but don't reread them. They're all for your stream of consciousness, and that's it. Dump it all on the page, close the book, start your day. Okay, if you're going to do the 30, 60, 90. It's more beneficial if you read the book because there's little exercises that you'll do throughout the book going back to your morning pages. But if you don't want to read the book, fine. Okay, fine. Just do the morning pages. Okay, a couple of reasons why I want you to do the morning pages, even if you don't read the book. You're doing a couple things with the morning pages. Okay, 1, you're starting a habit. You are starting a habit. You're starting your day with a habit. And the whole point of the 30, 60, 90 is to form good habits. It's to get on a routine. It's to get focused. It's to change your life, right? And in order to change your life, you need to have good habits. Okay, so we're starting at the foundational point of we're starting a good habit. And then along with that, you're accomplishing something every single day. And when you don't do it, this is crazy. Okay, when you don't do the morning pages, when something comes up and you forget and then you realize that you haven't done them, you'll find that that day in particular, you're a lot more irritated. It's the craziest thing. It's because you know, your subconscious knows that you were supposed to do this thing and you didn't do it. And so you're irritated at the fact that you didn't do it. But while you're going throughout your day, you don't know why you're irritated. That's 1. 2 is that you're essentially not like trauma dumping, but you're feelings dumping on a piece of paper. And you have a mental log of how your brain and your thought process will change. And it is incredible to look at. Okay, now I'm only on week 6, right? And I think it's week 5 or week 6, or I'm technically on week 7 now because week 6 is over, but I think it was on week 5 or week 6 where they have you go back and look at your morning pages. One of the questions that they ask you is, who do you blame? Because what ends up happening is you're purging all these feelings on paper. You don't realize what's in your subconscious. You don't realize how negative you are about yourself until you write it down. It's the craziest thing. And there's this rule, they call it the 1.5-page rule, where it's all nonsense until you hit about 1.5 pages. And after the 1.5 pages, all of a sudden you're talking about your fears. All of a sudden you're talking about something that's holding you back, or how you feel like you're never good enough, or how you feel like a failure, or how you want to be successful, your wants and needs. It is mind-boggling, okay? So you have a log of this. And when you go back and you look at it, when you do these exercises. Now, so let's say you don't do the exercises. Around week 6, you should probably go back and reread a couple of them. You will see your thought process change. And it is so incredible to watch yourself change and your thought process change throughout this journey, right? because you yourself don't realize it. And now if you don't do the morning pages and you just do whatever the fuck I'm telling you to do, and you're not going to see the change that you made in yourself. The whole point of this, okay? And that's another reason why I like the 75 hard challenge, but the reason why these two are different is because 30, 60, 90 is to set yourself up to feel good every single day. That's something that I didn't like about the 75 hard. I constantly felt like a failure if I didn't accomplish the list of things that I was supposed to do, right? I felt like a failure. I didn't do that. So let's say for the 75 hard, right? One of the rules is to do 2 45-minute workouts, right? Let's say I wasn't feeling good one day and I only did 1 45-minute workout. I now see that day as a failure because the expectation was to do 2 45-minute workouts. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not giving myself the small wins. And the point of the 30, 60, 90 is to give yourself every fucking win that you have every single day. So, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I got mine at Half Price Books for $8. Get it online. Online, it's incredibly expensive. I think it's like $30, but try to find Half Price Books or the library to do The Artist's Way, okay? Every week, you read a chapter. My week starts on Tuesday. And you do the 30, 60, 90 with it, okay? This is incredible. I highly recommend reading The Artist's Way, okay? So now we got the morning pages out of the way. So now we have 30, 60, 90, right? How do you break it down? What is it? What do you do, okay? And I told you guys you have these major goals at 90 days, and then 30 and 60-day goals are to kind of like your stepping stones for those things. It's easier if you work backwards and you make your goals. You start off with the 90-day goals. What do you want to accomplish at the end of 3 months? And then you break them down into smaller goals for your 30 and 60 to get yourself to the 90-day goals, if that makes sense, hopefully. So here's mine, okay? Here's my piece of paper that I wrote 45 days ago. As you can see, I broke my goals up into personal, career, and health. Those are the categories that I wanted to change. Yours can be different. Yours can be completely different. This is just think of this as like an outline on how to change your life. You can use this method for anything, okay? But what I highly, highly recommend that you don't use it for is weight loss, okay? The goal should never be to lose weight. The goal should be to be healthy, okay? And I'll get into that in a fucking second, but we're going to talk about the goals, okay? So for 9, you want to start backwards. So write down on a piece of paper, personal, career, and health, 90-day goals. What do you want to do every single day for 90 days? And what are your goals for those categories? Okay, so for me, for personal, it was to eat healthy. I want to eat healthy. I want to be a healthy person. The overall goal of my 30, 60, 90 is I want to change my life and I want to be healthy. Those are like the overarching themes of my 30, 60, 90. For my career, I want to start my business. And for health, no alcohol. Now, you could put, I still want to drink. You don't have to pick no alcohol. And that's where a lot of people get this confused where they're like, all you did was 75-day hard. No, I didn't. I just chose I didn't want to drink because it wasn't benefiting me and it wasn't making me a healthy person. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything goes back to that question. Was I being a healthy person when I was drinking alcohol? No, I wasn't. I just wasn't. Some people have a glass of wine when they eat at dinner or something, or they have a couple beers after work and they are healthy. For me, I was not acting healthy when I was drinking alcohol. I would party Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would eat like shit Monday, Tuesday, and I was really only eating healthy Wednesday and Thursday, maybe. So I had to cut that out of my life in order to be a healthy person. And then we go to our 60-day goals. For health, I put yoga 2 times a week. For career, I want to build my business website. Again, that goes towards starting my business. Do you see how they're like stepping stones to the overarching goal? Do you get what I'm saying? And then for personal, I wanted to meditate and step outside my comfort zone. So I want to do things that step outside my comfort zone. And what's crazy is The Artist's Way will force you to do that. Now, the important part here, I need you to listen up. Put your listening ears on, thinking caps on. For your 30-day goals, whatever they are, they need to be so incredibly realistic, okay? And I know I keep bringing up 75 hard, but I am not a 75 hard hater, I promise. I love 75 hard. I love 75 hard. I think it's amazing. I think it's incredible. I think it's changed a lot of people's lives. But goals for 75 hard, for me as an individual, are not realistic. They're just not. I'm not going to do two 45-minute workouts when I haven't worked out in 7 months, okay? Like, that's just not realistic. I'm not drinking a gallon of water when I barely drink 2 water bottles a day. Do you get what I'm saying? I myself need to ease into it, okay? I read this somewhere. I don't know if this is true or not, but it says I read somewhere that it takes like 28 days to form a habit, okay? So your 30-day goals should be your habit forming process, okay? So for personal, I just want to invest in myself and be consistent. I just want to be consistent. Whatever it is I'm doing, I want to be consistent in it. That's my goal. That, to me, is an achievable goal for 30 days, right? For career, I put never miss a podcast episode and post one TikTok a day. I didn't know which one I wanted to do. I ended up choosing never miss a podcast episode. And for health, I wrote gym 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Now, if you're really focused on health and wellness, right? You want to be healthy. If your goal is to make active change, you need to make your goals realistic, okay? And the reason being for that is that if you have unrealistic goals, right? If I wrote down on my piece of paper, I want to go to the gym every single day for 30 days. The day that I don't go, I'm going to look at that day as a failure. I'm going to feel shitty about myself, right? I'm going to be like, well, my goal was to go every day and I didn't go that day. And I'm going to kind of like ex-nay all the other days that I went, okay? Do you see how the mindset is more so looking for the positives? You're looking for pockets of positivity to keep yourself going. And I think a lot of the time when we set these goals for ourselves or we do these challenges, it makes us inherently feel like a failure. And you don't want to do that because then you're not going to stick to it. You want to do things that make you feel good, right? Now we have our goals, right? So you want to make sure that your goals are realistic and that you're going to accomplish them. Make them a little bit harder for your 60-day goals and then a little bit harder for your 90-day goals to get you where you need to be. That's the outline of the 30, 60, 90. I know a lot of people are here because they're like, oh, well, Taylor, you look so incredibly different. The weight loss was a result of these changes, okay? And I know people are going to be like, okay, she talked way too much. And the point of the fucking thing is that she worked out and she ate healthy and she didn't drink. And that's how she lost the weight. And she was probably eating in a calorie deficit. I want to talk about weight loss community as a whole, or the weightlifting community or gym community or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is so incredibly overwhelming and toxic, I personally feel, because you have to think about it like this, right? Let's put ourselves in the average everyday person, man or woman, okay? And let's say you haven't been to the gym in a year. You work a 9 to 5, you started putting on weight, and you want to be healthy. You're just not a healthy person right now, and you want to lose weight. The first thought process is, I want to start losing weight, right? And we can all relate to this. I know we have all been in this exact same situation, right? So we're like, okay, I think I'm going to start working out. You see a video or something that motivates you. You're like, I think I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start going to the gym. You go on TikTok or YouTube or something like healthy diet or healthy challenge or whatever the fuck. And all these things come up. And it's somebody saying they did the keto diet and they lost 50 pounds. Or they did the all meat diet and they lost 70 pounds. Or you need to stop eating carbs and that's the solution to your problem. Or you need to eat more carbs, and the people that are saying don't eat carbs don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You need to eat more. You need to eat less. You need to eat 6 meals a day. You need to eat 1 meal a day. You need to eat constantly to keep your metabolism up. You need to eat less because it's bad for you, and fucking big pharma is trying to convince you of other shit. Meat is good. Meat is bad. There is so many fad diets, yo-yo diets, information that is so overwhelming that you literally don't know what to do. And it's overwhelming. It's incredibly overwhelming. And this is what I feel like happened to me. Okay. So I'm looking at this like, all right, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Do I do keto? I did keto before. And mind you, I've lived like 7 lives at this point. I've done every fad diet you can ever think of. I've done OMAD, eat 1 meal a day, eat whatever you want. I've counted calories. I've counted macros. I've tried running every day. I did the military diet where you eat like a grapefruit or some shit. I've done the raw vegan diet. I've done the paleo diet. I've done it all. I've done it all. And you know what? The consensus I got from it is that it works for the time that you do it, and then you gain your weight back after you're done doing it because it's not sustainable. The point of the 30, 60, 90 is to create sustainable change. That's how I came up with this. This is the 30, 60, 90, okay? I took bits and pieces that I feel like worked from other workout plans and other things and put it into this, okay? So, for example, the Artist's Way, right? I paired it with this. I read the book Atomic Habits, and there's pieces of that I liked, put it into this. There's pieces of 75 Hard that I liked, put it into this. There's this rule that I heard. You can look it up. It's called the 130 rule, and it's this trainer. I don't know his name. I apologize. But he basically said that he's this very famous trainer, and he's trained NFL players, basketball players, famous actors and actresses, people from all walks of life. And what he's come to the consensus of is that it takes 130 hours to become physically fit and physically healthy. Okay. So what does that mean? That means you either need to work out every single day for 45 minutes a day, 6 months, or you work out 2 times a day for 45 minutes each workout for 3 months every single day. But I think you get one rest day in this. Okay. If you do the math, you get one rest day every week. Taking that rule, taking 75 hard, taking Atomic Habits, and you mesh it all up, and what do you get? You get the 30 fucking 60 90. That's what you get. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Taylor, your 30 days, you said you only wanted to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah, I did. That's what I did. For the first month, for the first 30 days, I went to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. It wasn't until like week 3 or 4 that I'm like, oh, I could do 2 back-to-back classes, or I could walk around and move my body and take my dog for a walk for 45 minutes, right? It didn't start off that way. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what the point that I'm trying to like drive across the screen. I hope you understand me. I didn't start off with eating incredibly healthy and doing 2 45-minute workouts every single day, okay? I eased myself into it. I found things that I like to do, and that was my goal, okay? And so now for my 60-day goals, I'm already in the habit and in the routine of doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. But again, that's not my goal. My goal is to just get to the gym and to do a 45-minute workout. And so now when I do an additional workout, I'm ahead of the game. I'm doing great. You do see what I'm saying? It's shifting it to where it's doable, to where you feel accomplished. And you want to have that positive reinforcement back at you, this positive feedback loop, or else you're not going to continue doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? If you constantly make yourself feel like shit for not doing something, you're not going to continue doing it because it makes you feel like shit. You need a reward. And this goes back to the book Atomic Habits. A positive feedback loop is something that you need to have in order to form a good habit. You need a reward. You need to feel good after it. Going back to the whole weight loss community, I think that another thing that's really hard for a lot of people is that they work a 9-to-5 job. When I had to go into the office, doing 75 hard was incredibly difficult. It's really hard because I think one of the workouts has to be outdoor and one of them has to be indoor. You could do it, and then people will be like, oh, we're just making excuses. It was doable. I could do it. Was it sustainable though? Absolutely not. It's not something I see myself doing constantly in the future. So I think that the goal here of this 30, 60, 90 is to find pockets of areas that are sustainable for you. When I say go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, if you're not a morning person, don't fucking go in the morning. If you don't want to do it on your lunch break when you're at the office, you don't want to sit back, you don't want to sit at your desk all sweaty, do it after work. You need to find pockets of time that work for you and that you can see yourself doing it long term. When you keep doing it over and over and over again, you're going to kind of get the itch to do it, because if it's in a spot that you want to do it in, okay? Now, here's an example. I tried to force myself to go to the gym in the morning, like 6, 7 a.m. I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up that early and working out. I'll wake up that early, but I don't want to fucking work out that early. It wasn't sustainable. I stopped going to the gym because I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I was scrambling to find when I can go to the gym later. You need to have a designated time for yourself that works for you. Does that make sense? That's what I did to get that drastic change. I made these small changes that equal to these bigger changes. And the goal, and I want to stress to you so much, if you came to this podcast episode thinking, I want to lose weight, that's my goal, you need to shift your mindset. You need to shift your mindset to, I want to be healthy. I know what you're thinking, Taylor. Okay, it's a battle of semantics, not that big fucking deal. It is though, it really is, because I'm going to tell you why having your goal be weight loss, it's just not a healthy way to think. Think about it like this, right? You have 2 people. One, their goal is weight loss. The other person, their goal is to be healthy. The person that their goal is weight loss, you can do weight loss in unhealthy ways. You could do weight loss in unhealthy ways, right? You could be like, okay, if my goal is weight loss, I'm going to do anything and everything to lose the weight. I'm going to do these fad diets. I'm going to do a juice cleanse. I'm going to undereat. I'm going to lose out on nutrition. I'm going to lose out on nutrients. I'm going to overwork my body. I'm going to work out 6, 7 times a day. I'm going to restrict myself to not eat these things. And it can become unhealthy very fast. You don't feel good in that process when your goal is weight loss. When your goal is weight loss, there's another issue with that as well, right? there's this thing called body recomposition. I'll never forget the day I learned this. I think I was like 16 when I learned about body recomp, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is mind blowing. Body recomposition is basically when you're gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time, which is obviously ideal, and your body is completely changing. Your body looks completely different, but you don't lose a lot of weight. You roughly stay the same weight. And this happens to a lot of people. And so if your goal is weight loss, right, and you work out for 3 months straight, and then you go on the scale and you weigh the same, you now look at yourself as a failure. You now think in your head, I didn't accomplish what I said I was going to accomplish. And a lot of the times, especially if you're a woman, your weight will fluctuate so much, especially when you're getting your period. You hold on to water weight a lot more. You eat more calories before your period's coming. There's this influencer that I know. Her name's Sophia. She's an amazing influencer. She does workouts based on your phases of your period. I have not done that yet. I haven't looked into it yet, but I do watch a lot of her TikToks, and it's very informational. She adjusts her workouts to her phases of her cycle. Definitely check her out. She's super awesome. We love her. If your goal is weight loss, you're on this emotional roller coaster that you're never going to get off of. And it's not a fun roller coaster, and it sucks. Okay. Now let's go to the other person. If your goal is to be healthy, right? You have small wins throughout your day every single day. If your goal is to be healthy, you can look at things that you do throughout your day and you can find small wins in your day. Example, I constantly, throughout this entire journey, would ask myself, what would a healthy person do? And that's in the book, The Atomic Habits. They talk about that. What would a healthy person do? If I go out to eat, right, and I want pizza, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want pizza. And then I look at the menu and I'm like, what would a healthy person do? A healthy person would say, okay, I can have a slice of pizza, but I'm going to get a salad on the side. Or, you know what? I don't think I want the pizza. I'm going to go for the salad. Or if I'm walking around, or if I'm sitting at home and I'm tired and I'm laying in my bed and I'm watching Netflix and I've been binge watching Netflix for like 6 hours, what would a healthy person do? A healthy person would get up and go for a walk outside maybe. Do you see the vast difference in the two goals? When you tell yourself, I just want to be healthy, there are so many things that you can do to be healthy and you could feel good about it, rather than telling yourself that my goal is weight loss. Because if you tell yourself I want to be healthy, weight loss will come with the changes that you make if you want to be healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning. I want to feel accomplished. And it's reinforcing that positive feedback loop. And I keep doing these things because they make me feel good. When you're doing challenges or yo-yo diets and stuff, end goal is to lose weight. And then you get there and you're like, okay, I hated that. The entire thing made me feel like shit. I didn't like it. I was restricting. There was no joy during the process. That I'm not going to do that again. And now I'm going to go back to the way that I was, right? In the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, it talks about a habit being part of your identity. And in order to change a habit or change who you are, you need to change your identity, right? And if you want, you can read the Atomic Habits. You can read Atomic Habits while you go through this process. I think it's super beneficial. But if we're going to stick to one book, I would pick The Artist's Way over Atomic Habits. But both of those books are really good to pair with these things. In that book, he talks about identity change. And this really just flipped my perspective. And I hope it does to you as well. And I hope this entire podcast is motivating to you to just be a better version of yourself. I think we all can be better versions of ourselves and work towards that and enjoy the process while you're doing it. You don't have to hate the process in becoming a better person. So in the book, he talks about true change comes with an identity shift, and that couldn't be more true. I think that when you're changing something about yourself, like think about it like this, right? You want to lose weight. That's your goal, right? I know I keep going back to that. And I said in the beginning that this podcast wasn't about losing weight, but that's the easiest example. Let's say you want to lose weight, right? You go on a yo-yo diet, do keto or something, and then done with the diet and you go back to who you are, which is eating like regularly, whatever it is. You eat like shit, or you eat your carbs and stuff like that. And then you end up gaining the weight back. That's because inherently you're not changing your identity, right? You're not changing who you are. So the change is never going to stick unless it becomes part of your identity. Your habits are never going to stick unless it becomes part of your identity, right? So the main question you want to ask yourself, when you're doing this 30, 60, 90, when you're writing these goals down, the main question you want to ask yourself is, who is it that I want to be? Who is the person that I want to be by the end of this? So for me, it was, I want to be a healthy person. I want to own a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a business person. I want to be a businesswoman. So then your goals kind of fall in line with that person, right? You have to visualize that person, visualize yourself, but as somebody else, becoming this person. What does that person look like? What does she do when she wakes up in the morning? Really walk yourself through a day being the person that you want to be. Sit there and go, okay, so this healthy business person, she owns her own business. What does her day look like? What does she wake up and do? Well, she wakes up, she doesn't go on her phone first thing in the morning. She has a strict rule against that. You can have fun like running through it, you know? You can accomplish these things, and visualizing that person, walking yourself through your entire day or your entire week of what that person would do. Just know that that's who you're going to become, and that should be motivating in itself. So in the book, Atomic Habits, it says a habit needs to become part of your identity. So you need to say things like, I am healthy. I am not a drinker. I am a business owner, right? So when we're on these diets or we're doing these challenges, right? When a family member comes up to you and says, oh, why aren't you drinking? Your response usually is, oh, I'm doing this challenge, or, oh, I'm doing 75 hard, or I'm not drinking right now. And that's not an identity shift. Do you see that? Okay. Rather than an identity shift would say, somebody would respond and say, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink anymore. If you say, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink anymore. You're making that change. You're telling yourself, and you yourself are telling yourself, I'm not drinking anymore. I'm making a change for myself. I'm using drinking. It doesn't have to be drinking, girlfriend. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, it more so has to become a part of your identity. And there's shifts in your mentality when you make statements like that, because you're telling yourself those things. You're not just telling the other person. You're saying, this is who I am now. I'm not that person anymore. And I think that that's so important and a huge part of this process. Something that really in the book Atomic Habits really, really shifted how I viewed myself was that he said, your behaviors are usually a reflection of your identity. What you do is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are. Now think about that. Think about that for a long, hard time, okay? Take a good, long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. Think about your behaviors. Think about your patterns. That's who you believe that you are. Those actions that you take, those things that you do, you believe that you're that person. If every day you wake up in the morning, you eat unhealthy, and you party on the weekends, and you don't go to the gym, just think of just think of who you are, right? Okay, I'll use myself as an example. When I read that specific quote, I was like, holy shit. It like blew my fucking mind. What you do is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are. Okay. So what do? I'm going to use myself as an example, right? And this really like triggered a bunch of shit in my brain, right? What do? Okay. So I enter a relationship, I end the relationship, and I party. And after I'm done partying, I go, okay, I'm fine. And I still continue partying, but not as much. And then I enter back into the dating world. And I keep doing that same thing over and over again. Working out and weight loss. I work out through the winter months, and then the summer months, I let it all go to shit, and I party. And then I repeat that same cycle. That's who I believe I am. That's the thing that I believe that I am. You can apply that phrase to so many aspects of your life. Relationships, dating, parent-child dynamic. It doesn't matter what it is. That's who you believe that you are. And I didn't want to believe that that's who I was. And you really have to face yourself when you're doing this process. You really do. And I think the first step in all of this is identifying who you are currently and who you want to become. That's the point of all of this, right? In the book, okay, he says, the more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. Okay, so let's use drinking for an example. The more I drink and party, the more people say, oh, she's a party girl. She's a drinker. She drinks all the time. She loves drinking. She loves party girl, right? The more I do that, the more people associate my action and behavior with my identity. Do you see that? Now, if I go to the gym every single day and I don't drink on the weekends, and I wake up and I go to the farmer's market, and I keep doing that, and I keep doing that, and I keep doing that, What are people going to say then? Oh, she doesn't drink. Yeah, she's super healthy. Yeah, she goes to the gym all the time. She's super active. And I realized the two drastic differences in that is how I realized who I wanted to become. I don't want to be the type of person where people say, not that I care what anybody says, mind you, but in my head, I don't want to be the type of person where people are like, oh yeah, she's partying all the time. Like she goes out every weekend. She's a party girl. Like, and I'm not knocking anybody that parties. Okay. I had myself a good fucking time when I partied. Okay. I had a great time, but I think I'm getting to this age too, where I'm kind of like phasing out of that. I'm not really too interested in that lifestyle anymore. I kind of just want to be somebody else. I just want to be somebody else. Those were all the things from Atomic Habits. I started reading Atomic Habits on like week 5. Okay. So I was already doing a lot of the things that he talks about in the book without even realizing it. But being reinforced and validated in his book made me go, oh, holy shit, I'm doing the right thing. And then I learned new things in the book where I was like, I could definitely do this. I could make even more changes and better changes. He talks about like habit stacking and how to break a bad habit and doing things like that, right? So I'm like, okay, I could do this. Now, how does this all apply to the 30, 60, 90? You need to do all these things in order to change who you are, right? If you want to think about, if you sit there and you say, okay, I want to change who I am as a person in 3 months, you have to know how to start, like where to start, what to do, right? Where do you start? How do you want to change yourself in 30 months? I gave you the outline, but where do you genuinely start, right? So the first step that you want to do is you want to decide the type of person that you want to be. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be an athlete? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to be a marathon runner? Do you want to be a painter? Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to learn the guitar? This can be applied to anything. It doesn't have to be the gym, girl. Everybody just came because they were like, well, girl, what the fuck did you do? You look so healthy. My goal was health. Your goal could be fitness. Your goal could be playing the guitar. Your goal could be becoming a musician, becoming an artist, becoming a painter, becoming a dancer. Does not matter. This outline can apply to anybody and everybody. Your goal could be to become a lawyer. You want to become a lawyer. What are the steps you have to take? This is an outline that is perfect for you. So step 1 is to decide the type of person that you want to be. Create your goals towards that person. Okay. Run yourself through a day in the life of that person, of you being that person. What does your life look like? Create your 30, 60, and 90-day goals towards becoming that person. And then step 2 is prove it to yourself with small wins. I keep talking about small wins throughout the entire thing. You don't want to make yourself feel bad throughout the process, because then you're going to have a negative feedback loop. You want to create small wins throughout your day, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is your goal is. Like, let's say you want to play the guitar, you want to become a professional guitar player. Every time you pick up that guitar and you start playing a little bit and you start strumming a little bit, that's a small win. You did more than you did the day before. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to remember, you become your habits. You are your habits. And I think we all forget about that a lot of the time. This 30, 60, 90 is creating habits for you. You're starting to create habits. And when you start off small, like how I said in the 30 days, like for me, it was go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. As long as I show up at the gym, that's what I'm doing. And then you build on that. You're starting to create the foundation. Rather, when you jump in something, you cold turkey fucking 75 hard it, you are setting yourself up for failure. Okay. You really are, because you're not like, you have to genuinely ask yourself, are you going to do that every single day? You're not. You're literally not. I'm just saying, for this particular thing, is more so about changing your life in 3 months, becoming a better version of yourself, trying to make positive change in your behavior. And that's where I got this from. Okay. This is week 6 for me. I'm really proud of myself. I see myself becoming somebody else. I see myself as making positive change in my life. I think meshing all these things together, you know, taking pieces of 75 hard and the artist's way and Atomic Habits and the 130 rule and all these things, and meshing it into this one thing, this one 30, 60, 90 was probably one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life. I finished my 30, 60, 90 on November 15th. That's my last day. That's my 90th day. I'm going to take a 2-week break for the holidays, and I'm thinking about restarting the 30, 60, 90 on January 1st with a group, and I'm going to create a Discord for those that are reading the artist's way, for those that want motivation, and we can all do the 30, 60, 90 together and be a part of a community. And I think that January 1st is right around the corner. I think it's the perfect time. A lot of people do their New Year's Eve resolution as weight loss or changing their life or whatnot. And what better way to start off 2023 than saying, I'm going to change my life in 3 months? So if you would like to join me, if you would like to start this, please, at the very least, right now, think about the changes that you want to make. Prepare yourself for the changes that you want to make. Maybe start going to the gym a little bit, or start practicing the guitar, or start doing a little bits of things, because it'll help you, especially around the holidays, realize the bad habits that you have. Kind of just being self-aware for the next 2 months. Now, if you want to, you can join me now and start day 1 on October 1st and be done before the end of the year, because we have exactly 3 months left of 2023. So if you want to end the year on a high note, you could always start on October 1st. You could always start on October 1st and join the Discord that we have right now and ask questions and end 2023 on a high note. But if you don't, we'll be starting a huge group for the 30, 60, 90 on January 1st where everybody can join. We can all talk about it. We can talk about our struggles. We can goal set together. We can have this whole thing and we can start 2024 on a high note. So if you would like to join, please let me know. Please follow me on TikTok. I hope that this episode was at the very least motivating and makes you want to become a better version of yourself. That's the only thing I hope for anybody and everybody, just to be better versions of themselves and to change themselves for the positive. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and at the very least it was motivating for anybody and everybody to become a better version of themselves. And I hope to see you on January 1st, starting the 30, 60, 90 with all of us. See you next episode. Love you.